Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for March 28th, 2025. It's Season 4, Episode 87. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com. Still not used to it. And along with the sentient AI, who's not here today, they're working on some process somewhere. And, but oddly enough, they don't have a Terminator body yet. Anyway, I'm going to talk about 10 articles. I'm going to go through it pretty quick. We're starting late. I have mayoral duties that I need to attend to still. But let's get into this. We're going to talk about the Severance Lumon Terminal and somebody who wants Apple to produce it. Shorts riding higher now. Ariana Grande has a short film. Seafood waste has untapped nutrition. Let's say no to MSG. 5 RPGs for $10. An acetaminophen alternative. Mushrooms in space. I actually was going to do a voice mod, but I didn't mash the button in time. How about we're going to talk a little bit about ceramic glass and watching chairs for 5 hours. In my line of work, that's actually possible. Anyway, I'm Mayor Watt. And I actually hear myself through a speaker somewhere else in the mayoral mansion. Anyway, stay tuned. All right, folks, let's get into it. I messed up and I didn't post all of the articles into the show notes. So we're going to do it old school. I'm going to do these one by one. The first article that we're going to talk about is over in the mobile channel. Come on, Apple, sell the Lumon Terminal Pro from Severance for real. Yes, that Severance, the one that all your friends can't stop talking about, although none of my friends are talking about that. The show that, along with White Lotus, has brought back an echo of the water cooler moments that pre-streaming television was known for. That's impressive for Apple TV, which has been hemorrhaging money, but I digress. Not I. The actual writer of this article over at Vice.com, Matt Janser, put the article together. You can see it's quite a bit longer than what we aggregate, but yeah, this would actually be pretty cool. I could go for this thing. I use a trackball, but I don't know what this is in particular, but you know, a 10-key keyboard. This isn't that hard to actually reproduce. Mechanical keys. A custom PCB underneath it, hand wiring it. It's pretty easy. It's tedious. You can screw it up easy, but then all you have to do is desolder and resolder. But anyway, so many eyes have gone googly at the building in which the series took place, the fictional Lumon Industries. The New York Times even called the filming location the real Bell Labs, the breakout star of the show. Now Apple has gotten into the act. They just listed the Lumon Terminal Pro on their website alongside the MacBooks and iMacs. It's beautiful, neo-retro, and they want one. I want one too. It's because we're coming up on April. So I doubt that thing actually is going to get made. Wait. That one is different than... The Data General D2 from the late 1970s was one such computer. It's not hard at all to draw a thick, bolded line of inspiration from it to the Apple Lumon Terminal Pro. How hard would it have been to beg Apple to make one? I doubt it'd ever happen, given that Apple's not in the habit of creating limited-run supply chains for anything. But this is actually doable. You can 3D print the housing. You can 3D print even the threaded fittings. That part right there, the little angle bracket, you can 3D print. All of this you can 3D print, and you can hand wire the keyboard. Give me the models and I'll print them. I got a 3D printer that's capable of that size, so send it my way. My 3D modeling skills suck, so anyway, but perhaps someone out there would create a Linux terminal that takes inspiration from it. No, why take inspiration from it? You can actually put a little monitor in there. Doesn't have to be Linux either, but that I digress. Linux isn't, known for its easy adoption. And don't get me wrong, I work in that industry, so not that I'm not ignorant of Linux and its many distributions, but at any rate, this would actually be pretty cool. Kind of retro, if you want to have that aesthetic. Me, I want wireless augmented reality glasses that throw my monitors up on my field of view wherever I look. And I've got 6 monitors, so I tend to have a lot of data being thrown at me. Anyway, this looks like it would be really fun to have. Maybe if I break down and have a physical set again. Behind me is a green screen about 10 feet behind me. That, I don't know, I could put some shelves up and start 3D printing stuff and sticking it back there. Maybe if y'all are interested, I'll do it. All right, let's keep going though. The next article, did I say who the name? Yeah, I said the name of it, right? Matt Janser over at Vice.com. Yeah. Okay. Well, the next article, it's over on the Hatch Ideas channel. Views may be higher. YouTube just made a change to shorts that will increase view counts and possibly earnings. When you click that button, it'll take you over to Entrepreneur Magazine. Sharon Shibu over at entrepreneur.com put the article together. It's edited by Melissa Malamute. And starting March 31st, YouTube will count views instantly when someone plays a YouTube short video. The previous policy was that the only count was if the viewer watched for a minimum span of time. I don't know what that span was. YouTube stated that it was updating the policy in response to feedback from creators asking for clarity how often their shorts were seen. And you don't want me showing you my shorts. There's more over the article, but that is the nuts and bolts of it. YouTube announced on Monday that, it announced that starting Monday, it's going to change the view counts. So its short form video section has a 60-second or less format. Previously, it counted if someone watched for a certain number of seconds. Not sure what those numbers were, but I don't know. If you go over there and you don't even watch it for 2 seconds, then, 5 seconds out of a 60-second video? But it depends on how long the actual video is. If it's only 15 seconds and everybody is forced to watch 2 seconds, if they bounce, then after whatever, how many seconds, 15 seconds on a 60-second video, the ratio isn't right. So you punish people who actually consume a healthy part of a 15-second video. I don't know. We're going to have blipverts at some point in the future. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Ariana Grande's new short film includes movie references to X-Men and Minority Report. And here's every detail that you may have missed. I haven't watched it, so I guess I didn't miss it. Just don't know about it yet. I'm going to end up watching this thing, I'm sure. Ariana Grande released the deluxe version of her album Eternal Sunshine, which is a reference to another movie and a book. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, I think it is. Anyway, the release was paired with a short film co-directed by Grande and Christian Breslauer. The short film features a string of movie references and an explicit shout out to Steven Spielberg. Again, when you click that little button, it takes you over to our source. Callie Algram over at businessinsider.com put the article together. And you can go over to wherever. Where is it actually being streamed? Yeah, there's a call out to the machine. What is that machine? I forgot the name of the machine. Anyway, the memory machine. That's not. Oh, right. Yeah, so they call it the memory machine, but Cerebro is the supercomputer that amplifies telepathic powers of Professor Charles Xavier, played by Patrick Stewart in the original X-Men trilogy. So, it's not really unheard of. The machine's design also evokes Steven Spielberg's Minority Report with the little wooden balls with something engraved on it. Looks like it's a memory. So the Brighter Days Ahead credits seem to confirm this parallel. They include a line that reads additional thanks to Universal Studios, Steven Spielberg, or the director of Minority Report. Yeah, I think she's kind of riffed off of other things in the past. Thank You Next. I think it's had to do with Mean Girls, Legally Blonde, like it says down here. Had a Rings video too, 7 Rings, I think it was called, which was a riff off of another song. So, I don't know. She makes it fun and entertaining, then I see no problem with it. Let's keep going. The next article is over in the Mobile channel, reducing seafood waste, discarded fish parts hold untapped nutritional potential. I've actually heard about this before. It says up to 2/3 of the fish caught never reached the dinner table. More to it, there's you can reduce the material down, and there's some, I can't remember what it is. If I do some quick due diligence, I'm sure I'll find it, but I don't have an ad blocker on my browser. So 70% of the residual raw materials that occur in the ocean-going fishing fleet are discarded back into the sea. The raw materials contain valuable nutrition like omega-3 fatty acids and high-quality proteins, according to the researcher. But hey, you know what? It actually goes back into the ocean, and other fish and whatever else consume it. So seagoing life consume it. Henriette Krognes, Norwegian University of Science and Technology, put the article together. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. It's over at phys.org. So, I mean, cutting off some, reducing all of this and throwing it back into the sea, it's going to get consumed by the seagoing life. So I really don't have a problem with it. But it says the quality of residual raw materials, such as the viscera and liver, degrades quickly due to the enzymes and bacteria that are naturally found in the raw material. That poses a challenge. Our research shows that we could be extracting far more value from each fish taken from the sea, as opposed to what? Nature, consuming it again? I would have to see somehow that whatever is thrown back into the ocean is never consumed. What is the burn rate? As opposed to dragging all of that back and not, you would have to use 100% of it without any exception to make it worthwhile if fish are getting, part of the food chain, are reconsuming everything that's in the discards. And they do, right? I mean, it says, can viscera be turned into high-grade fish liver oil? White fish store most of their fat in their liver. The liver is therefore manually sorted for the production of fish liver oil in Norway's coastal fleet. Such sorting operations are resource intensive and can be challenging to carry out on board. That's why we have looked more closely at whether it could be possible to use the whole fraction of the viscera to produce oil without sorting out the liver. The study results indicate that sorting out the liver is not necessary. Both the liver and viscera from the cod and saithe, I guess, can be used to produce high-quality oil for human consumption that is rich in omega-3 fatty acids. I am sure that there is some goober out there saying, oh, this is horrible for you, you shouldn't be doing me. Anyway, they found that the raw material could be refrigerated for up to 2 days and still be used to produce oil for human consumption. Silaging is a preservation method in which acid is added to control the growth of unwanted microorganisms and ensure optimal conditions for the enzymes in the raw material. Sorry, 1 second. Nope. Oh no, that just drew them in. Anyway, you're going to have a wildcat visitor here in a second if I can't stop them from getting in here. So silage products are often perceived as being low quality, but the researchers' findings show that the quality of the oil can be significantly improved by adding acid and with antioxidants immediately after the catch to start the preservation process. But it is high demand. So the residual raw materials that is currently discarded at sea represents a huge opportunity to meet demand for nutrients in Norwegian food production. And not just Norwegian food production, but food production anywhere, if everybody follows the same thing and doesn't just discard the stuff that we would normally discard. So it's an interesting article, and if you want to know more, go over and check it all out. This next article might trigger some people, but we'll see. This next article is over in the Wanted channel. Madison Square Garden bans fan after surveillance system IDs him as a critic of its CEO. The man created but didn't wear a shirt critical of James Dolan, the venue's CEO. And frankly, you cannot like somebody and still go to the venue they are running. But you know what? I'm starting my embargo now. I say no more MSG, right? MSG is bad for you. Obviously, it's rather dystopian that you can't be a critic of somebody at a venue that all they're doing is running it, right? I mean, it isn't their house. They're just the owner of a business. And if you are critical of them for whatever reason, now you can follow the other hardline and go, I'm critical of the CEO and I'm not going to use any of their stuff. That's what I do anyway. I'm critical of a couple of CEOs and I don't use any of their stuff. So why? Because I don't want my money going to them, right? They have the wrong ideology. They have the wrong way to treat people. And this isn't the first time that Madison Square Garden has banned somebody, a brownie and their mom, for crying out loud, who, again, wasn't even at that point, wasn't even critical of MSG and anything else. They literally were at a firm that it had a lawsuit involving MSG, and they weren't even in it. They weren't part of the lawsuit. It was just the firm. So this dystopian surveillance bullshit is sitting there scraping data somewhere, looking at the public-facing pictures, and then scanning every person that goes in there. Yeah, you tell me that isn't dystopian. So Madison Square Garden can kiss my shiny metal ass from now on. They stop doing that shit, I'll go and spend my money there. So the latest victim of MSG's all-seeing eye is a person who made a t-shirt critical of Dolan years ago and never even wore it to the venue. According to The Verge, the Seattle resident named, and I'm not going to bother because I don't want to amplify anybody's identity. Mainly, you know what? The person's name is Frank Miller. Screw it. Was in New York earlier this week for his parents' wedding anniversary, and the family planned to attend a show at Radio City Music Hall, which is the same venue that the Brownie or Girl Scout troop, one of the moms was not allowed in. I mean, it's ridiculous. They were going to see the Rockettes. I mean, this is a tremendous level of douchebaggery. Anyway, and so damn petty. Anyway, so what did Miller do to get banned? According to the account that he was given by staff, reported by The Verge. We're getting this from Gizmodo, by the way. AJ Dellinger is a person that put this article together. He was told that he was involved in an incident in 2021 that landed him on the Do Not Enter list. Yes, a blacklist for people who all they have done is say, you know, James Dolan is a tool, right? He's doling out a dystopian, I don't know, what do you want to call it? You know, a dystopian slap on somebody's wrist for nobody liking it, and that person not liking James Dolan. So anyway, again, I'm up on this high horse, soapbox, whatever, and kind of triggered because I think that this is just part and parcel of what is incoming. More and more of this kind of crap, where because somebody is speaking out against something, there are proxies that are going to ban people. And golly, there were times in the past. Yeah, so everything old that we've grown past for a large segment of society is suddenly coming back full force. So instead, it seems it was something he made that got him banned. Miller does graphic design, and after former Knicks staple Charles Oakley was forcibly removed from MSG in 2017, allegedly at the behest of Dolan, of whom Oakley had been publicly critical, Miller made a t-shirt that read "Ban Dolan." So in the style of the Knicks logo, a friend of Miller's wore that t-shirt to MSG in 2021 and very publicly got kicked out and banned from the venue for it. So anybody who wears this shirt, right? Ban Dolan. So everybody should start wearing it. Everybody should start wearing it. Go and buy that shirt. It should be a Streisand effect juggernaut. Just everybody rolling in there and wearing this banned Dolan shirt. Screw it. You know, find out how much it hurts when you basically don't like somebody wearing a t-shirt. You know, they didn't walk up and smack them. They didn't do anything other than wear a t-shirt. Now, they got banned for some reason, but not everybody else is involved in that. So just because you have the shirt, well, I'm sure that... Anyway, so Miller is just the latest in a long line of people who seemingly draw on the dire of Dolan, and as a result, been banned from the venue he owns. In 2023, the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, opened an inquiry into Dolan's alleged blacklist of enemies, at which time reportedly included thousands of lawyers from as many as 90 firms who were involved in the litigation against Dolan and MSG. Now have difficulty getting past security to attend shows and games. Yeah. But everybody else says, well, it's not me, so I don't have to worry about it. Oh, there's a poem that talks. Anyway, let's move on. See, we don't have the sentient AI from the future keeping me on track. So you can grab these 5 incredible RPGs for just $10. The article is over at Kotaku. Ethan Gash, or Gatch, I don't know how they pronounce their last name. Somebody needs to tell me. Disco Elysium and Pillars of Eternity are a steal in the latest Humble Bundle. I can't count how many times I've purchased something from Humble Bumble. Almost sounds like an insurance company. So, in the market for over 100 hours of great RPG action, the latest Humble Bundle includes the perfect mix of games, and you can grab 5 of them for just $10. Not bad. Dice and Destiny Bundle includes classic CRPGs and more recent visual novel-infused tabletop RPGs. So, all of it together is supposed to be valued at $175. You can get 10. Sorry, you can get 5 for $10. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, Disco Elysium, Citizen Sleeper, and Road Warden, and I would pay $10 just for Disco Elysium if it was my style of game that I like to play, but I don't. I'm more chill nowadays. I like just sorry, just got a message from the sentient AI. I'm keeping you on track. They're just not here. And since only computers can multitask, they're working on their project that they developed, and they're still keeping an eye on me. Anyway, finally, while Disco Elysium needs no introduction, fewer people are probably familiar with Road Warden. It's a text-heavy interactive RPG in which you play as a Witcher-like figure, patrolling the countryside as mysteries and side quests unfold, and there are light survival elements driving tension, and excellent writing and music that deliver on a beautiful, evocative mood throughout. There's more over here at this article, and Kotaku is a great source for a bunch of different topics. Go over and read the rest of this article, and then go over and buy this Humble Bundle for only $10. Yeah, that's very... I don't know if I should get it or gift it to somebody. All right, let's keep going though. The next article, it's over on the Mobile channel. This 17-year-old scientist is making an I can never say this fast, acetaminophen alternative that is less damaging to the liver, which is a great, a better solution that's more effective and less harmful, means that more people can take it for an extended period of time for treatment of pain. So Chloe Ye-Wan Lee's research could change the painkiller known by the brand name Tylenol for the better, ultimately reducing emergency room visits and cases of liver failure. You're not supposed to take that stuff for an extended period of time, but Ella Jeffries is the author of this article over at Smithsonian Mag, or SmithsonianMagazine.com, and 17 years old. They said they actually witnessed a resident have to be taken to the emergency room because of acetaminophen toxicity. The person says, I was pushed to find a solution because I wanted to help the residents who I volunteer for. Studies report that acetaminophen overdose contributes to 82,000 emergency room visits each year in the United States. Meanwhile, acetaminophen toxicity is the leading cause of both acute liver injury and acute liver failure in this country. And when they talk about acute, it means there isn't a slow grind to failure or injury. You take too much, you injure your liver, or it fails, then you're in a serious situation. So you have to get to an emergency room. So, for example, the most common used treatment for NAC, which helps replenish glutathione in the liver, allowing it to neutralize toxic metabolites. However, NAC must be administered within a narrow window of the time after an overdose to be most effective. Other treatments, such as liver transplants, are often reserved for patients who have already suffered significant liver damage. So, with new understanding of the widespread impact of acetaminophen, I'm going nuts. And I don't want to use the brand name because it's nothing more than a brand name at this point. Acetaminophen toxicity. Lee became acutely aware of the critical need for safer alternatives to the drug. So they began a deep dive into the toxicity, the antidotal therapy, a clinical approach to toxicity, is widely inaccessible and also unreliable. It really depends on your body. So this article is quite long. After months of experimentation, Lee succeeded in producing a modified acetaminophen molecule that showed promise in reducing liver toxicity. According to her results, it's 2.74 times less reactive with the liver than the original form of acetaminophen. Now, testing. So they talk more about it, but basically they need to be testing. And this is, once again, her work earned her a spot as a finalist in the 2025 Regeneron Science Talent Search, the most distinguished science, technology, engineering, and math competitions for high school seniors in the U.S., representing 39 schools across 16 states. This year's 40 finalists were selected from a pool of 2,471 entrants, the largest number of applicants since 1967. Lee and her fellow finalists were competing for more than $1.8 million in scholarships with a top prize of $250,000. In reality, even that money isn't the biggest win. It's being headhunted for a position somewhere in a very prestigious either research institution or an organization that will be able to amplify their interest in whatever domain they're actually researching, or some other, if they find something, if they're stimulated and brought to a different area. All it takes is one person to basically kind of trigger them into being passionate about something, and they do fundamental research and change society for the better. That's not always, I don't want to go down that. So when asked about potential costs, Lee acknowledged that the drug development process is very costly, rigorous, and time-consuming to modify acetaminophen. She used expensive transition metal catalysts, which are chemical compounds made from the metals of iron, copper, platinum, that help speed up a chemical reaction without being consumed in the process. That's what a catalyst is. Although the reaction can be abated, but you can recover the catalyst after the reaction. So the research is not cost effective, as it increases the cost of acetaminophen. So that's the biggest limitation. But if they can prove that it is actually highly effective in not causing liver harm, the increased cost will outweigh the damage. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody wants to die because they take a couple of aspirin, or acetaminophen. But people will pay a little bit more. And today I was giving a presentation, and I said, you can make more money all day long, but you can't get your time back. And if you take too much, or your body biology has shifted some way, you take a little bit too much that throws your chemistry out of balance, you harm your liver, you will lose countless hours, days, years of your existence on the far end and in the immediate, because you're going to have to go and get treatment for something that could have been solved by paying just a little bit more. But this is fundamental research, which means that private money and public money need to work together to do this, and then everybody benefits. Not just the ultra rich, not just the well connected. everybody. That's what a society is. Anyway, let's keep moving. The next article is about mushrooms. Mushrooms in space. So, SpaceX astronauts will try growing the first mushrooms in space on upcoming FRAM-2 mission over Earth's poles. Described as the perfect space crop, the nutritious and ready to eat fungus could be a key stepping stone toward fueling crew members during long-term flights. I was hoping that they were going to produce potatoes and peas. So peas can be grown, but using urine. Anyway, Margarita Bassi over at Smithsonian Magazine or SmithsonianMag.com put the article together. And I love mushrooms. Most shapes and sizes. Love mushrooms. There are dangerous ones. Don't go out foraging unless you have become a subject matter expert. You're very well known, or you're very well educated, and you know a lot about mushrooms, because the wrong mushroom will end you just as fast, if not faster, than a chemical imbalance when you take acetaminophen. So they say, who can eat thermostabilized dehydrated food for 5 years? Space nutritionist Flavia Fayat Moore said to Sky News. So NASA is aiming to send humans to Mars as soon as 2030, and I think that's bullshit. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And SpaceX is and I don't even like doing that, talking about that. Anyway, we are the closest we've ever been to achieving interplanetary crewed spacecraft. No shit. Every time we advance technology, we're at the closest we've ever been. I don't think that we're the closest, because somebody is going to have to sacrifice to make this actually possible. In this day and age, it is a one-way trip. So anyway, FRAM-2 will be the first crewed mission to orbit over Earth's polar regions, and mission Mushroom will be the first study to grow mushrooms in space, reads a FRAM-2 statement on Monday. Oyster mushrooms are the perfect space crop, helping astronauts meet their nutritional needs on long-duration space missions like those to Mars, while closing the loop in plant agriculture and helping to minimize inputs and waste. The experiment consists of a small box of substrate, the equivalent of plant soil for growing mushrooms, and mycelium, the root-like structure of a fungus, which scientists hope will fruit into oyster mushrooms while traveling hundreds of miles above Earth's surface. So there's a lot more to this article. I'll let you all go over and check it out, but I'm going to keep on going. Mushrooms in space. All right, the next article is over in the Wanted channel. Corning's new ceramic glass might save your next phone from disaster. Gorilla Glass maker Corning has announced a new material that might help save the day the next time you drop a phone. The company claims its latest Gorilla Glass ceramic can withstand drops that would shatter lesser materials. I feel like this is not a new article, because Gorilla Glass has been in the process of one phone or another, and sheets that you can just stick onto your non-Gorilla Glass phones and devices for years and years. So they keep on making it better. I'm waiting for, shatterproof glass, and then the whole world changes, and supposedly there is one, but it was so expensive and it never broke that it was reasonably priced at the time. But people would buy that and it wouldn't break. So the company basically went out of business because nobody would buy replacement glasses. So unbreakable glass was actually produced. I don't want to say when, but look it up. Yeah, there was unbreakable glasses actually made, drinking glasses. So chemically strengthened glass has been a key component in the proliferation of smartphones across the world. Since the company provided the glass for the first iPhone back in 2007, so nearly 20 years now, it has made glass for more than 7 billion devices. That makes Corning the largest glass supplier in the mobile industry, but it does face increasing competition in the budget and mid-range segments. So, by the way, you can actually, for unbreakable Gorilla Glass or something like that, something similar, and you'll find somebody that went into the Corning research facility and tried to break some glass, even with it's a little metal ball, and they were told to press as hard as they want, and they couldn't break it. But it says this is not Corning's first swing at adding ceramic to the mix. The company is also responsible for Apple's ceramic shield glass, which has been used on the company's high-end phone since 2021. Apple fans have been largely impressed with the strength of Ceramic Shield 2. With the debut of Gorilla Glass Ceramic, we'll be seeing Android phones with ceramic protection. However, we expect this to be a material for more expensive devices. Now, just for now. So it says it has some mechanical advantages you might not realize. Remember Bendgate, when Apple's sleek aluminum phones would acquire banana-like bends simply from riding in your front pocket? I think that happened more back pocket, but anyway, that doesn't happen anymore because most high-end, i.e. not plastic phones, have adopted the glass sandwich design. Glass has low tensile strength, which is why it cracks when struck, but its compressive strength is off the chart. So placing a pane of strengthened glass inside a metal frame makes the device extremely stiff and resistant to bending. But it can still shatter. So they say here in this article, we're interested to see if Gorilla Glass Ceramic makes handling a phone less precarious. I don't find handling a phone precarious. You know, Apple said it a long time ago. You're holding it wrong. All right. Plus buy a case. All right. So the last article for the March 28th episode of Non Sequitur News. Woo! Should I do this? Yeah.
It's brought to you by Titan.
Just kidding. It's not. So it's in the Wanted channel. Marvel sure did get a lot of people to watch Chairs for 5 hours. Marvel's 5.5 hours Avengers Doomsday Chair live stream broke records for a cross-platform live stream. I have no idea what this is all about. James Whitbrook put the article together. It's over at gizmodo.com. And yeah, the deck statement says Marvel's 5.5 hour Avengers Doomsday Chair live stream broke records for a cross-platform live stream. This past Wednesday, Marvel proved that in spite of all of it, it can still demand a good grip of online attention when it managed to get the internet voraciously watching 27 chairs laid out in a row for over 5 hours. How much of the internet? A lot, apparently. Deadline, and this is sourced from gizmodo.com, James Whitbrook, but they got it from Deadline. Deadline reports that the Doomsday Cast announcement pulled in over 275 million views over its runtime and 3.1 million mentions across social media, trumping the view records and the studio previously established for the first Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. 24 hours after it dropped, and we were all still making rather silly jokes about the chairs. The live stream remained the number 2 trending stream on YouTube. Apparently no one just wanted to relive the magic when Marvel themselves condensed the whole thing down to under 2 minutes to post on Twitter. So, I didn't even watch this because I want to see the movies. I don't want to see all of the other stuff around it. So they say, perhaps any other studio with reckless confidence to make people tune in for over 5 hours to see fold-up chairs and a tiny glimpse of Robert Downey Jr. May have crashed and burned, and yet here we are. Well, hell froze over, folks. So I am not surprised that people would rather... In a psychology experiment, people were told to sit in this room and not touch that button because if they touched the button, they would get electrocuted. There was a person that mashed that button something like 2,000 times. Yeah, people crave stimuli of any kind, apparently, and anything to pull them away from what's going on in the world. So enjoy, everybody. Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, X-Men, MCU coming around, more Marvel stuff. Who knows? Maybe we'll find some gem in the MCU and no longer be burnt out by superhero whatever. Like The Boys. The Boys burned me out. I didn't even watch the last episode, or not the last episode, but the last season. Mainly because it seemed like it was damn near a documentary. But anyway, that's it, folks. I am done. And that means that I am going to turn this chair live stream off and return us to ohmtown.com, where you should go and become a citizen. That's it. I'm done. I'm taking the AI with me, but they're not here. So it is what it is. Anyway, thanks for coming. If you have any comments or questions or whatever, leave them in the YouTube comment section. Download the podcast. Go over to Patreon and follow us there. Be sure to follow us on Twitch and YouTube. Like the video, ring the bell, leave a comment. There's a Discord. We stream longer on the weekends, so typically at 4 o'clock we stream for about roughly 2 hours, including little breaks where we reset. We've got 3 shows on Saturday, 3 shows on Sunday. Each of the shows is a unique subject matter. Some of it is maybe taken from previous days over the last week. It's a weekly show. All of it gets turned into a podcast. There's 7 podcasts. Oh, the sentient AI wants it known that they are always with me. That's nice. I'm going to have to sleep with one eye open, folks. See y'all later. Bye-bye. 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 Oh, wait. Let's try this.